Before we get started with today's show, I just want to remind you that you can save 10% on your order with Symphony of Balloons, a luxury balloon company that also offers a 360 camera. Just simply mention you heard about them on Breaking Through Glass Ceilings. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Breaking Through Glass Ceilings. I'm your host, Brian H. Waters. Now, y'all know this show brought to you by B. Waters Productions, where we preserve your life memories in HD. Here's what I'm going to say before I get started to today's show. At the end, at the card, make sure you hit the subscribe button to that channel. It's also in the link down below. That's all I'm going to say about that. Now, let's get started with the show today. So, I set up things a little bit differently. And I wanted to, up the production value a little bit. So, not at the desk, just sitting in, middle of the studio. But I wanted to talk about the first thing I want to talk about is this whole beef that Stephen A. Smith and Sheryl Swoops have. I listened to a little bit of it. Stephen A. Smith had Nancy Lieberman on his show, and they talked about his issue with Sheryl Swoops. Many may know Sheryl Swoops, WNBA legend, 4-time WNBA champion. I remember when me and my god brother would do drafts in church. We'd be bored and we would sit there and we pull out the piece of paper because we didn't have cell phones. So we couldn't play video games. We wasn't allowed to bring out Game Boys and stuff and play them in the church. So what we would do is we would have makeshift drafts. We would do NFL drafts and then NBA drafts. Then one time we did an all athletes draft. And what we did was we wrote down different names. And I remember he wrote down Sheryl Swoops and he told me she's the Michael Jordan of the WNBA. Now, this is around, 98, 99, 2000, early days. And that's how I first heard about it. I obviously did my research. But apparently she's upset. According to Stephen A. Smith, she's upset with Caitlin Clark and what she's been doing for the WNBA. I'm not going to go deep into who's right if Stephen A. Smith is telling the truth. Here's what I'll say. One, I would like Stephen A. Smith to either talk with Sheryl Swoops or stop talking about Sheryl Swoops. Just think at this point, it's not doing anything. You're having all the people. Every time I turn on my television, it's Sheryl Swoops in his title card. I'm like, what sense does that make, right? But here's the thing. You look at Caitlin Clark, you see what she's doing in the WNBA. Will some women be upset who paved the way? Maybe, maybe not. That's not my story. Now, I've heard Caitlin Clark talk about the legends that paved the way. And it always seems as if there's this tribalism where you're either Angel Reese fan or you're a Caitlin Clark fan. And then, and I even caught myself when I see people pushing for Caitlin Clark to be Rookie of the Year. Then it's like, wait, are they really anti-Angel Reese? Or are they super Caitlin Clark? And I think it's silly. Now, I was on the athletics page, right? And I want to say it was Jim Trotter. I want to make sure I get his name right. That's why I'm sitting here with my phone right here. But I want to say it was Jim Trotter. Just make sure I got the name right. And the one thing he said was that both of them should share a Rookie of the Year. Yeah, it was Jim Trotter, National Collins. Said both of them should share the Rookie of the Year award. And I saw people say, oh, that's crazy. What's the point of one award and all this? So I went back and I went in recent memory in the NBA because I knew that Steve Francis and Elton Brand shared the award in 2000. But then I also, or was that 99? No, 2000. But then I also saw that and I was reminded that Jason Kidd and Grant Hill shared the award. So will they share it? I don't know. But I do think it's ridiculous to say that Jim Trotter is crazy, as I saw in the comments, for suggesting this. Because why not? Why not have both of them share the award, right? you can talk about the stats, but then if you do talk about the marketing of the game, somebody even tried to say Angel Reese hitched her wagon to Caitlin Clark, which I thought was absolutely ridiculous. Because Angel Reese has been balling. She beat Caitlin Clark in the championship game. So that's where I am with that. Overall, you can root for both. Let's celebrate these women. Let's keep pushing. Let's support the WNBA. Because at the end of the day, I want to see these ladies get the bag. They going out there, they putting their bodies on the line, time away from their family. Yes, they're playing basketball, but guess what? Basketball is for our entertainment. And I want to see them well compensated for it. I want to see people tune into the game because the game of basketball, of women's basketball, is so beautiful. Every time I watch it, I enjoy it. So we'll see. Let's move on to the next topic. I'm going to go to the football. I know most people thought I would talk about this first. Lamar Jackson. He got a Gatorade commercial, y'all. And here's what I have to say. Lamar Jackson, the Gatorade commercial, the premise is, can he get the big one? Can he get it done this year? Dare say, is the fix in? Will the NFL compensate the Baltimore Ravens for the job they did to the Kansas City Chiefs, the Kansas City Taylor Swifts last year? I hope. I really hope so. It's time. This is the year the Ravens win the Super Bowl now. I was born in 1986, but I can only imagine the fun that people had living in Baltimore in the years of 1968 to 1971, or maybe 72. We can go to 72, right? You had the Orioles and the Colts. They were both in the World Series and the Super Bowl. Now, we all know the Orioles lost to them Miracle Mets in 69, but in 1970, they came back and won it. The Colts lost Super Bowl III on the only reason that Joe Namath is a Hall of Famer, because he had that guarantee. He did it, the heavily favored Colts. But then the Colts will come back and win Super Bowl V. Yes, folks, the Baltimore Colts. So, here's my question. Is this the year for Lamar Jackson? You know, because I've been seeing a lot of these quarterback lists, right? And I've been seeing Patrick Mahomes, number one. Okay, cool. Undisputed champion. The tribal chief of the NFL. Sure. But then I'm seeing Josh Allen at number two, or in some cases, Joe Burrow at number two. And I understand Joe Burrow made one Super Bowl. He did beat Patrick Mahomes to get there. Josh Allen didn't. Made it to, the AFC championships. But I'm seeing Lamar like 4 or 5, or some cases not even in the top 5. This man is a two-time MVP. I do not understand the constant disrespect. You try to say, all you can do is run. That narrative should be shot down. Lamar Jackson even said he prefers to throw the football. So get over it. I'm ready. Lamar Jackson, this is the year. The NFL owes Baltimore one. The Gatorade commercial, they spent the money. Can Lamar get it done in February? I want to be celebrating the Ravens winning the Super Bowl, and I want the Oriole bird to go to the Raven bird, and they toast their trophies together. That'll be a mascot thing for you. And speaking of mascots, because I'm all in on the New York Liberty. Now, between Sabrina and Stewie, they are doing their thing, but you can't help but talk about Big Ellie when you talk about the New York Liberty. So, I would love that. Like, Big Ellie have a big party after the Liberty win the championship. Now, I am a Seattle Storm fan. I know they have a chance. That's my number one team. And number two is the Chicago Sky. Shout out to my number one favorite player, Skylar Diggins Smith plays for the Seattle Storm. My number two favorite player, Angel Reese, plays for the Chicago Sky. But, Skylar will be retiring soon. I do want to see the Storm win. But looking at the numbers, looking at the standings, I think it's the Liberty. I think the Liberty got a good shot. And with that said, I would love to see Big Ellie celebrate, and then she celebrate with Poe and celebrate with the Oriole bird. How cool would that be? You know, that we can arrange that. But speaking of mascots, right? Did y'all see the Chicago Sky mascot? Now, I understand what they're doing. Like I said, I love the Chicago Sky. I went to a game. That was when Candace Parker was playing there. Love the Chicago Sky. But I don't like this mascot at all, folks. I don't. It's ridiculous. Why would you do that? It's too, and also, and here's the thing. It's not so much I don't like it. I don't like the rollout of it. I'm big in presentation, right? If y'all remember 150 plus episodes, this is episode 152. But way before, when I first started this podcast, I did a press release. I did a big rollout. You know what I mean? I come from a marketing communications background, not just a marketer with a podcast. As you see, try to use high quality stuff. And one thing I noticed was the importance of rolling out something. And I just felt the Chicago Sky could have just waited till next year, had a big thing, boom. But right now it just comes off as imitation. And you saw the internet was all over top of it. Like, no, you're not Ellie. You're not Ellie. I want to invite you to check out my mother's book, The Tears Behind My Smile. This book is a tribute to my uncle, but it's about not only celebrating his life, but it's also a reminder of how family and true love can endure even in the face of life's greatest challenges. So make sure you check out this book. You can find it on Amazon. The link is in the bio. The Tears Behind My Smile by Robin Waters.
It's me, Queen PR, one half of those wrestling girls, and welcome back to another episode of Where Wrestling Meets Pop Culture. And this is the show where you find out who the current Up Down champion is. This is not the show where we speculate when Mercedes is returning to WWE. This is not the place for rumors and innuendo. This is the show where you find out where all your wrestlers are up to outside of the ring. One of my favorite couples, Bianca Belair and Montez Ford. We knew that Bianca and Montez were filming a reality show with Hulu. I just have to have a moment for the It family.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you in the gym every week? Are you looking to kind of keep yourself cool while you work up a nasty sweat? Well, I got the best thing for you. Cooling bands, bandanas, cooling towels, and so much more. Go to Vertical Athletics, get your favorite team in MLS or MLB, or guess what? Now they have a custom option so you can upload your own logo. And you can save 10% at checkout when you enter the code Brian H. Waters. Go to verticalathletics.com. Use the code Brian H. Waters to save 10% on some of your best cooling gear. But some quick news. I saw a thing on Bleacher. The Philadelphia 76ers could be moving to New Jersey in 2031 when their lease is up at the Wells Fargo Center. Man, that just sounds crazy. Like, you talking about one of the premier NBA franchises, who had people like Dr. J, Moses Malone, Charles Barkley, and of course, the one and only, that answer himself, Allen Iverson. And they could up and move. They're strongly considering moving to New Jersey. Is there a big spike, a big boom coming to Jersey that's not in Philadelphia? Somebody let me know, because I'm curious. I'm very curious. Quite frankly, if Jersey's like that, I probably wouldn't mind moving myself. But the last thing I'm gonna talk about is this boardroom list. Now, I was up this morning, getting ready to run, morning errands, taking the kids to school, going to the gym, then taking the kids to school, right? And I came across this list. And it said, least attractive hobbies for men according to women. And I ain't gonna lie, I posted it on my stories. Shout out to my lady, Queen PR, because I don't have these issues. And here's the thing. So they rank, I guess it's like the attractiveness score. 0 is attractive, 100 is unattractive. Right? Now, this is also via Intel's. That's the media source that did this. Bird watching got a 50. Comic book collected, 55. Taxidermy, taxidermy, I don't know what that is, but it's got the deer. So I'm assuming that means, y'all let me know, I'm assuming that means like hunting deer and putting it on the wall and whatnot. That's got a 60. Building model trains, a 65. So 65% of women don't think that's attractive. Gambling's a 70. Guess they tired of hearing about your bets and all that stuff, right? Online trolling, a 75. Magic tricks. Women don't like magic, an 80. Here's the one. Pop figurines, at 85. And at a 90, this is at the top of the list, playing video games. So guys, women don't like you playing video games. Now, here's the thing I learned throughout life. I learned that some women love men playing their video games, just not too much, don't take too much attention. Then I heard somebody, go do it, encourage. You need your time to rest. You need your time where you just don't focus on anything. I know for me personally, I don't have those issues. There's times where I would sit there, me and my lady went on vacation, and I took my PlayStation 5. And she's like, oh, I'm happy. You're right here playing the game, and I'm just happy to be right here with you playing the game to see you relax. Or we, on the phone. And I've seen, I've asked a few ladies. Then I know some ladies who are gamers who know way more gaming than me, who are content creators. Shout out to my friend Jordan Curl. Make sure y'all follow Miss Jordy. But, her and the whole crew of people. And, a lot of your favorite wrestlers a lot of your favorite women's wrestlers love video games. They always on Twitch. I played some of the best games. Shout out to Allie. Shout out to Leva Bates. Shout out to Chrissy Rivera. We used to play. Shout out to my boy Blake and my boy Frank. We used to all play Friday the 13th. That was a lot of fun those years. But yeah, learning that video games is a problem. But y'all let me know what you think in the comments, as they say. Is video games a problem for you ladies? Or would you rather your man just not spend too much time on it? And when you look at the list of things that's unattractive, is gambling that unattractive? Or is it just the potential issues that could come about it? Is online trolling? I would think that would be number one. Like, who wants to deal with a troll? But nonetheless, that's how y'all feel. But ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for this week's episode of Breaking Through Glass Ceilings with Uncomfortable Conversations. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms at Brian H. Waters. Make sure you subscribe. Like I said, at the end, there's a YouTube link. There's a video. Make sure you watch. Make sure you subscribe. Till the next time, folks, Brian H. Waters. And remember, do not let anybody place a ceiling above your success. So long, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to support this podcast by wearing a t-shirt, whether it's the one that says Breaking Through Glass Ceilings or the one that says No Ceilings Above Success, simply go to foryourwear.com. Also, you can support some of your other favorite podcasts and content creators, including Those Wrestling Girls, Seahawk, and the Wrestling Club. And you can support some of your favorite independent wrestlers, including Jay Bougie, Trisha Dora, Chaz the Don. Shoot, all of Pure Ignorance is on there. So go on foryourwear.com, Go under personalities, you'll find Brian H. Waters, and buy a t-shirt. And remember, I'll give you a shout out on the show.